What's up, everyone? Welcome to another piano live lesson. Johnny, how you doing?
I'm great, man. How are you?
Doing good, too. It's Johnny Tobin doing Superstition today.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah, Stevie Wonder song. It's an awesome tune. It's kind of like one of the, it's one of the big keyboard riffs of the ages.
Yeah, totally. It's kind of weird because it's not actually a piano on the recording, but if you've got a keyboard at home and it has a clavinet sound, turn your dials to clavinet.
Set yourself to clavinet mode.
Yeah.
Yeah. So before we get started, anyone that has any questions, you can just hit the Ask a Question button below your screen and we can answer it on stream, or if you got questions after the fact, you can send them to me and I'll answer them after. So let's just jump right in to Superstition.
Sweet, okay. So this tune is in E flat minor, which is the relative minor of G flat major. E flat minor. So it's really just, this song is only two sections really. There's that main riff, and then there's sort of the chorus part, I like to call it. So I'll just, maybe I'll play the riff kind of up to speed, and then we'll break it down slowly.
Yeah, sounds good.
So here it is, like kind of up to speed basically. That's kind of repeats for like quite a long time before it goes to the next section. I have sort of a simplified sheet music to it. I'm sort of adding some notes what I'm doing, but there's some sheet music provided that has sort of the main notes there. Mm-hmm. Let's break this down slowly now. So basically we're just riffing off the pentatonic scale. This whole thing is based around pentatonic. So it starts on the 4, 5, 7, 1. There's a pickup. And then it goes 1, 1, 7, 1, 3, 7, 5, 7, 1, 4, 5, 7, 1, 3, 7, 5, 7, 1. And then that's the whole thing. So again, it's just pentatonic. So yeah, it's very, the notes are pretty simple, but rhythmically it's got a lot happening there.
Mm-hmm. So it's all the black keys, right?
Just black keys, exactly. Yeah.
That's sweet.
So it's kind of nice that way. You don't have to worry about like your hands switching positions too much. It's just stays up there. What else can we say about this?
Well, like, how do you practice that riff? It's something that, like you said, the notes are simple, but it's kind of like it is a two-hand sort of pattern, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So, I think on the sheet music I have there, it's all sort of just written in bass clef for that riff. But yeah, this is something you want to do with two hands. It's kind of spread between the two. So I like to, the notes where I would have to normally stretch my hand like more than an octave, I sort of split that up. So, so the left hand, just make it simple. The left hand, I'm just putting on the E flat, G flat, A flat, and B flat. And then my right hand I have on the D flat, the high E flat, and the high G flat. So left, right, left, right, left. So that's kind of a simple way to look at it, just kind of splitting it in half. Left hand gets these notes, right hand gets these notes. Yeah, I think practicing wise too, definitely slow it down, use a metronome. Because it's pretty rhythmic, and you have to be pretty accurate, because this song, there's only kind of like one way to play it. So it's a very specific thing.
Well, it's definitely one of those songs where when people say, "Oh, can you play Superstition? Like they know that riff, right?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
that's
It's so iconic.
Yeah, so you want to kind of make sure you got it right.
Yeah. So I'll how about I play this again slowly and just
Well, this is kind of putting you on the spot here. But could you play really slowly and then just gradually build up the speed to performance tempo?
Sure.
Because it's a cool riff, and
Yeah.
just kind of loop it.
Sure.
And, yeah.
Sounds good. I'll just keep repeating it again and again, starting really slow. So.
Yeah.
So that's
Sweet.
kind of up to there.
Yeah.
It's mostly just a matter of really developing the muscle memory because a lot of people that are kind of starting out, a lot of your stuff that you're learning on piano, a lot of it's like, your left hand might be just holding one thing.
Yeah.
And you're kind of doing stuff with your right hand. But with this, both hands are sort of, it's almost like a wave. Like one hand's going like this and the other hand kind of picks it up and it's like doing that. You know what I mean?
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Like you're carrying the line between both hands. And so if you're not used to that sort of flexibility with both your hands, it might be a little bit challenging. So you could just do a thing where you just practice the right hand part,
Yeah. Or even just making sure that you're as familiar as you can be with just the pentatonic scale. Like E flat minor is a really cool scale because it's like basically all black keys, right? Yeah. And that makes it really easy to just play physically on the keyboard. Yeah. But it feels really foreign for like most musicians because it's a different, just fundamentally feels physically different on the keyboard. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, it's got some little jumps in there, but this song's a great way to practice it because, like you said, it's all black keys, and so you don't have to worry too much. Like if we were in C major, there's not as many guideposts for like what notes, but here it's literally just okay, all the black keys.
Yeah.
And it's not. The thing with this song is it's not just going up and down the scale, like it kind of jumps a little bit, but if you're really familiar with the scale, I think it can definitely help a lot in getting comfortable with this tune. Yeah. Should we look at the next part?
Yeah, let's take a look at the other part of the song.
All right, so it kind of goes, it does that for quite a while, and then if you're playing along to the recording, you'll hear, like, in my sheet music, I don't have the exact number of bars, but it goes to the 5, which is B flat 7. Then it goes a semitone above that to B flat, to B7. And it has a kind of cool color note on it, which is the sharp 11, which is F. So B flat. And you're literally just, your top note's the same.
Okay.
You just change these two. Just up a semitone. And then it goes back, B flat. And then it goes to A7 with a sharp 11. And then it goes to A flat 7, which is the 4. And then it hits that kind of dense chord as a shot, and then it goes back to the riff. So
what was that dense chord, just really quick?
The dense chord, it's a B flat 7.
Yeah.
So we have the 7, which is A flat, and the 3rd, which is D. We have this note here, which kind of makes it tense, which is F sharp or G flat, and it's the sharp 5. So that kind of makes it a little bit like,
yeah,
like it's a little bit crunchy for a sec.
Yeah.
And then,
cool.
And and then it goes back to that.
Yeah.
So I can break that down again slowly. That chorus part.
Yeah, let's do it.
So yeah, starts B flat 7. We got A flat, D, B flat. Then it moves just up a semitone. A, E flat, F. So again, yeah, chromatic, and you're only changing a couple notes. Then back down. Then this A7 with a sharp 11. So here you're moving a couple notes as well. You got G, C sharp, E flat. It's almost like it basically is a semitone down. All the notes are just moving a little bit. Then you're moving another semitone down to A flat 7, which has G flat, C, E flat. And then right after that, you go to the B flat 7 with the sharp 5. And that's just a punchy shot. So you hit it like that. And yeah, that's the chorus. Now I'll do it up to speed so you can kind of hear how the chords move and stuff. So
Cool.
and then it goes back to that.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So it's kind of like it's got that 12 bar, or not 12 bar, but it's got like a sort of 4-5-1, or I guess that 5-4 kind of one progression.
Yeah. There's kind of
bit.
some chords in between, but it does. Those are almost just. I would say those are more just for tension than anything. Like
Yeah.
if you analyze them, it's kind of weird because it's like 5, and then sharp 5, 5, flat 5, 4. So really, the main thing is just this. But, you know, it's kind of boring if you just stay on this one chord for super long. So Stevie, being the genius, just goes like that.
Yeah.
And just those simple chromatic movements up and down kind of give it some tension and release there.
So if you do just want to play it really simple, I guess you could conceivably just hang on the 5 chord, 5, 5, 5, 5, then go down to the 4, 4, 4, and then do that crazy shot thing.
Yeah.
And then back to the riff.
Exactly,
and that could be maybe your intro into the song, like introducing yourself into playing it, and then once you become more confident with some of these cool jazz little, sparkles that you
Little
throw in
notes.
there. Yeah, then you can try all
tones.
these color tones and stuff.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So that's basically, you said that's basically the song, right? That's
That
sort of 2
basically
sections.
is, yeah. I think there's a beauty to this song just in the simplicity of it because it's so basic. You know, there's only 2 sections, and then he crams a lot into these. This main riff, if you noticed, like earlier when I was playing it, I was adding a couple notes and like little things to make it even more rhythmic. So maybe I could look at some of those.
Yeah,
now.
let's take a look.
So this is the basic version of it. Like, still sounds pretty good, but some of the things you can add are just a little. Anybody who's on Drumeo.com probably has heard the term ghost note, which is basically just like sort of a slight little quick note, like a passing little rhythmic note that just gives it a little more push. So. So those little. So those little, you just kind of, it's sort of filling in those little holes in the rhythm because the basic form is. which is fine, but there's a little something missing. So if you can add that rhythmic element, especially when there's no drummer there or somebody else like providing that sort of rhythmic thing, I'm just, as I'm doing that, I'm always just kind of thinking like in my head like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Another thing you notice in my right hand I was doing was I did this kind of bluesy little slide. Like on piano, we can't really bend notes like on guitar. So one way that we can make it sound kind of that bluesy sort of thing is to just hit a grace note like that. So yeah, I'm literally just doing a 1 1/3, and then I just boom, just graze that note, the D flat. Maybe I'll just do slowly like some of these ghost note things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's, again, you're just kind of filling in the pockets, and you don't want to necessarily do this if you're just learning this song for the first time or you're more of a beginning player, but there's just some cool things you can add to a song and to a lot of other songs too. If you're looking to add some more rhythmic variety and make it sound a little more spicy.
Yeah.
I would say.
Well, the thing that I like about this song, and if you even watch videos of Stevie Wonder playing it, is he's like drumming on the piano, right?
Yeah.
Like rhythm parts or rhythmic kind of a clavinet, like you mentioned at the beginning of the lesson. It's a type of keyboard.
Yeah.
But it's like the ultimate funk keyboard,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And they're really fun to just experiment around with. Because you get into this mindset of like, oh, this is a very percussive instinct that you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Stevie's hands too, he's pretty loose with it. And he's like it's almost like it's like he's playing bongos or congas or something.
Yeah.
And he like hits those super hard. Like I think it's important to remember that piano is a percussion instrument. I mean, keyboards, obviously it's all mechanical, but the actual piano, originally, they're hammers hitting strings, and so you can use it in a very percussive way that, you know, a guitar you can't necessarily do the exact same thing with. And this song specifically sounds awesome on like a keyboard type instrument because it's so percussive.
Totally, man. Yeah, so if anyone's practicing on a digital keyboard or something at home, you likely have a clavinet sound somewhere in there. So get yourself to that clavinet sound and mess around with it. It'll open your world up. When I first discovered those sounds, I was like, oh man, there's more to this than just piano, you know?
It's so funky and it's just fun, you know? So feel free to experiment with that. And,
totally, man.
Have fun with it.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So when you're playing this song in a band setting, like this is the kind of thing, especially if you are playing it on like a clavinet, you have a very limited sort of role or perspective in the ensemble.
Yeah.
Does your attitude for covering this song change when you're just like here in solo piano?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. Well, for one thing, this song just solo piano. If you're not singing, it's pretty hard to do because there's just so many parts happening. But yeah, I think when if I was just doing solo piano, I'd probably play a little more rhythmic.
Right.
When there's a band, the drummer often fills in those spaces that those like.
Yeah.
Like You could still play that if you're with a band, but another thing to consider when you're playing with a band too versus just by yourself is like how much space you want to leave and how busy you're playing is, because there's other people, and it's like you're having a conversation in a group and you don't want to be always just talking over everyone else. You want to leave space for everyone else to kind of engage and like know where your role is and fill out the space. So yeah, I think if I'm playing solo piano for this, I would definitely play busier. Even on the chorus part, like if I'm just playing solo, I might add more to it, like that's busier than what I would do with the band. But it's I think when you're just playing solo, you have to find ways to make it interesting. So yeah, that's just my take on that.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, let me check if we got some questions.
Cool. Also, anyone that's watching this, if you want to record yourself playing this, we would love to see that. So if you want to post that on the forums or the group or anything, like, we'd love to see your renditions of this track.
Totally. Yeah, put it in the forums or the Facebook student page. Yeah, it'd be awesome to see that. We got a question here from Dave Atkinson from Drumeo.
Ooh,
yeah.
Okay. Hey, Dave.
What's up, Dave? Dave's got a good question here. He says, how do you play this with the right feel? Steve plays with such staccato notes and it has this feel to it. How do you go about achieving that?
That's a really good question. I
Yeah.
think sometimes, listening to the original song is really important. Like, you can't really play this properly if you haven't listened to it. So I think listening to it and just getting inside that groove and I think it's a matter of being loose but also tight in terms of just how you think about it. And the notes are sort of swung for this song. It's not... It almost is straight, but it's not fully straight. You know, it's got a little bit of swing to it, and I think if you're just like... It's a very difficult thing to... you can't really notate that, like, you must swing it exactly, 49% or whatever. But I think it's just a matter of laying back a bit behind the beat and not feeling like you have to play it super staccato or super legato either way. It's sort of somewhere in between.
Yeah.
It's kind of, that also is a tricky thing because you're thinking about all these notes and you're thinking about the rhythm and like the feel of it, but yeah. Sorry, that's kind of a long-winded answer to that.
No, that's a great point. I can say, from my perspective, just expanding just into funk keyboard playing in general, the way I got into developing feel is not by simply just playing with a metronome, but playing with just like a canned drum loop. If you have a keyboard at home that has a clavinet sound, you probably have a keyboard that, you push a button, it goes...
Yeah.
So if you just get that going and play your groove along, that for me is what made all this kind of practicing more musical, because funk playing is so percussive, but it's also, there's just so much room for expression and like individuality and stuff. And this is such a great like beginner's little funk lick.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
like you can practice along to your metronome if you want, but maybe like find your practice tempo and then pick a funk drum loop to practice along to and see how that works for you.
Yeah, that's a great point. Like when I actually did the same thing when I was younger. Like I would go through and like each different, like my keyboard probably had like 300 different feels for drums, and so I would go on and like, oh, let's jam on with this, you know, 80s funk feel, and like, oh, let's try this one now. It's like a James Brown funk feel, and like all this different stuff. And I think that can be a great way to, if you don't have a drummer, in your family, or you're not friends with a drummer, or you don't have one readily available to play with, that's a great resource. And
plus, it's just so much fun.
it is, yeah.
Like I'd play from like dusk till dawn.
Yeah, that thing will loop and it never stops.
No, and you can press a button and it puts a little fill in or whatever. Yeah, it's sweet.
Yeah.
Let's see if we've got any others.
I think just to add to that as well, like kind of back what I was saying too, like with listening, I would listen to a lot of funk guitar playing, like
Right.
because that stuff is just all about the kind of rhythmic, you know, like guys like Prince, Nile Rodgers, like any of the guitar playing, like in James Brown or like some of the Commodores stuff, like all that is just listen to that and try to really get into the feel of that, because that will help also improve your feel.
Yeah. We have a question from Antal. Hey, Antal, good to hear from you. He says, could you demonstrate that clavinet sound on the piano? Unfortunately, this is just a piano. There is no additional sounds, but we're going to start rolling out some more keyboard lessons, so look for a clavinet lesson in the near future, because that's a fascinating instrument. I love that instrument. Yeah, if there's any other questions, get them in. Is there anything else that you want to address about this song?
Maybe I'll just quickly go over everything again. Slowly.
Yeah.
And then I'll do it all again fast, like regular tempo.
Yeah, sounds good. Man.
So I'll play the riff a couple times. That's slow.
Nice.
And then up to speed, just real quick here.
Cool.
That's that.
Sweet.
2 main sections and
simple as that, eh?
Yeah. Well, practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
As they say.
Yeah, they do say that. Awesome, man. Do you want to do one last, like, just jam out on it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'll just
see what you can do with it.
do some soloing maybe and see where it goes.
See what comes out. All right, everybody.
Cool.
That's it for this lesson. Thanks so much for joining us. Thank you again, Johnny.
Thanks for having me.
Alrighty. So Stevie Wonder Superstition.
Cool.
Go nuts.
Here we go.